How's it going, everybody? It's Young here with a Metal Gear news update. The following information comes from Reddit, through which Konami's community and social managers have shared some reassurances for Metal Gear fans on future plans for the franchise. And we're talking about Konami US, by the way, which is essentially what's left over after Konami LA was disbanded. I have met folks from Konami US and I can tell you that they are the good guys, unrelated to the shady decisions that the higher-ups over at Konami Japan make. One of the community managers is Ben Keeney, who provided proof that it is indeed him on Reddit by sharing this photo, and I also can confirm his identity, as I've met him personally at E3 and during the MGS5 review event. He's a super cool guy, very passionate about his job, and it's definitely nice to see him reaching out to Metal Gear fans. He was the most outspoken about the future of Metal Gear, and I've gone ahead and compiled some of his posts that I found throughout Reddit on the matter. And one of his earliest posts was regarding the Metal Gear Snake Eater Pachinko. When fans expressed dismay over the product's latest trailer, Ben had the following to say. Hello, in the interest of our continued efforts to be more involved with you all, there are a few things you should know or understand about this. A. These products or licenses take years of approval and development on their own. B. This product is local to Japan. C. This product does not impact the video game console development cycle, which also takes years. If any of you know anyone who has access to IDG or Super Data, there are some great, very recent reports on the entire console market and dev cycle. D. Hey, seriously, the graphics look great, and we, social PR, report actively your expressed interest in remakes and updates. Further insight was provided by community manager Robert Allen Peeler, who I've also met personally and is also a really cool guy. Check out this interesting bit of information that he had to share about the Pachinkos. I don't know much about the Pachinko division in particular, so grain of salt, but I think I can give some insight into at least the nuance as well. Those Pachinko games that have been promoted recently were planned and in development a long time ago. They are just now releasing. The company isn't more focused on Pachinko, they're pretty much as focused on Pachinko as they always have been, as far as I can tell. Of course, I haven't been here long. Likewise, they always promote specifically to the Asian market, but because it makes good news, Western media makes it a point to report on it the same. Can't blame them, but perspective. So what he seems to be suggesting is that based on what he's heard, these Metal Gear Pachinkos have been in the works for a long time, but even he suggests that people take this with a grain of salt, as he doesn't know much about the Pachinko division and he hasn't been with the company that long. I still find the timing of the Metal Gear Pachinko announcement rather suspect, only a few months after Kojima's departure from the company, but regardless, that's the information that Ben and Robert had to share, and the best thing to get out of all of this is that according to Ben, these Pachinko machines won't affect the console development cycle. Ben also stated that the social team actively reports the community's interest for remakes or updates, so maybe there's still a glimmer of hope for a gorgeous Snake Eater remake, but hard to say for sure. Speaking of the console development cycle, when a fan expressed their dismay over the current situation of the Metal Gear series, Ben further addressed the matter by stating the following. Within the industry, many projects are slow burns, slow starts, or even non-starts. While I understand your frustrations/desires, as a longtime Castlevania fan, I totally want more. After LOS2, Konami needs to take the time necessary to review the IP and find a good fit. Metal Gear is important to a lot of people here, and as has been stated publicly, will be supported in the future in a console market. It can be hard as fans. One day, I hope we may earn you back and surprise you. Hope that helps and does not sting. So according to Ben, there are plans for the Metal Gear series to continue on video game consoles, and he hopes to earn our trust back and surprise us. I would love nothing less, but that's definitely a tall order, as fans doubt that the Metal Gear series can continue while maintaining the same quality as past games with Kojima gone. But I guess all we can do now is wait and see. Hey, who knows, they might surprise us. Also, this is the first semblance of reassurance that we've seen from Konami, more specifically from Konami US, since the whole debacle, so it's something. In another post, Ben addressed his inability to give specific answers regarding the future of the Metal Gear series, stating the following. Questions like, are there plans for Metal Gear or any other franchises? Konami has already answered in public press releases. The answer was yes. Even if we had knowledge, it is not something that in general we could hint at on public forums. Working on social, PR, marketing is a fine balance. We want to interact, but we also cannot run around spoiling secrets or game announcements willy-nilly. That is not even Konami, that is the industry as a whole. So yeah, that part is understandable. The PR and social team can only do so much right now, with Konami's new console Metal Gear game still being early in development. All they can do right now is acknowledge that there is something in the works. Ben then provided further insight into future plans for their IPs in another post, stating, "We have a series of plans around development for our IP. Those are in various states of ongoing review and discussion. I mentioned in the other AMAA with MGS that in the video game industry, these things take time. Each IP has to be evaluated, the prior titles and timing checked, etc. We have super talented in-house people and partners who have worked on prior games. TLDR, yes, we are looking at console development." And speaking of AMAA, during an Ask Me Anything session, when asked about the possibility of new content for MGS5 single player, Ben simply replied with, "Not my area to know, sorry man." Robert Peeler was also asked some similar questions. One fan asked him if MGS5 single player was pretty much dead, to which Robert replied, "I don't know that for sure, but currently only FOB and MGO changes updates are being implemented." Another fan specifically asked if Robert can say anything about the rumored Chapter 3, and Robert simply responded with, "No, I really can't." Now, I find it interesting that they didn't outright deny the possibility of a Chapter 3 or extra story content coming in the future, which one could view as a small ray of hope, but I personally wouldn't get my hopes up. It's just as likely that they aren't in a position to know about these things, much less talk about them openly. After all, in another post when asked about the possibility of Chapter 3 or Kingdom of the Flies being released, Ben responded that these questions are outside of my wheelhouse, sir, above my pay grade, beyond my scope. But he did further reaffirm that Konami is still interested in developing AAA titles in the future by quoting something that Konami president Mr. Hayakawa said in a press release last year, which goes as follows. Konami will continue to embrace the challenge of creating entertainment content via different platforms, not only mobile platforms, but for home consoles, arcade units, and cards to meet the changing needs of the times. Ben then added, "So despite rumors to the contrary, we never left console development." Robert also reaffirmed that Metal Gear would continue in the video game landscape by answering a fan's question on the matter with a very direct, "Konami will continue to make games for the Metal Gear franchise." And that's pretty much the gist of things. I've dug through other parts of Reddit, and they basically reiterate the same thing over and over again. Metal Gear Pachinkos are being handled through another division and doesn't affect the development of video game console games. Konami will continue to develop AAA titles for home consoles. IPs like Metal Gear will continue on consoles. And they are fully aware that Metal Gear fans are upset and hope to make up for all this and surprise us in the future. A lot of bold claims that certainly sound great, but I'll wait until I see these claims in action before I shout hurrah. For now, it's all hearsay, but again, I've met Ben and Robert, and they're definitely doing the best they can considering the circumstances, and if there's anyone from Konami I would trust despite the recent fiascos, it's these two. So maybe, just maybe, Metal Gear has some kind of future, but again, I'll wait until I see something tangible first before I hold on to so much as a sliver of hope. So there you have it, folks, some reassurances that the folks over at Konami US have made to Metal Gear fans. Thank you for tuning in. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter in the comments below, and to be further updated on Metal Gear news, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.